So Samus is able to quickly penetrate into the space pirate base and officially begins her mission. As Samus, you'll find yourself in Brenstar, which is a section of planet Zebes that is basically just a series of underground caverns and kinda acts as the tutorial for the game. Although, to be fair, as with a lot of older games, there is no tutorial for Metroid. It would be more accurate to call Brenstar the place you are least likely to die in. So Metroid starts out like a fairly typical 2D platformer. You can move side to side, jump, and shoot a deadly laser from your arm mounted cannon. Very typical of the era. Easier to draw a hand cannon than a gun, I suppose. As you begin exploring Brenstar, you are likely to run into the various fauna of Zebes, all of which are extremely hostile. Well, kind of. All of the creatures found in Metroid will hurt you if you touch them, but most of them are just trying to live an honest life. I mean, just look at my buddy Zoomer over here. Yes, that is what they are called. Trust me, the rest have far more creative names. Anyways, the Zoomers will just zoom around. It's not their fault that when they touch me, I take a bit of damage. Most of the time, while doing a run through the original Metroid, I tend to avoid the creatures as I feel bad for ending their lives for no reason. You know what they say, hashtag save the animals. But let's just say that one of these guys trips you up one too many times and you want to put it in its place. How do you get rid of them? Well, I don't know about you, but I would use the laser cannon attached to my hand. So, in case it wasn't incredibly obvious, you can shoot everything that moves until it stops moving, much like in real life. But unlike in real life, where you'd get the cops called on you for quote unquote manslaughter, when you do this in game, the creature in question is likely to drop a resupply on your life energy, on top of some other things that we'll get to later. I mean, we also only start off with 30 energy out of a possible 99. Well, you know what they say.
Hashtag kill the animals.
Anyways, as we continue on, we'll eventually run into the greatest obstacle that a late 80s video game could throw at us: a giant wall, which we are too tall to walk under. And it looks like Samus lacks the ability to crawl, which can only mean that this game is busted and is impossible to beat. I mean, as everybody knows, you can only move right in these platform games. It would be ridiculous if we could go the other direct. Oh my goodness, we can go backwards. Ma, get the camera. I'm moving to the left in a video game and it's working. And what can we find by going this way? A weird sphere thing, which is the first upgrade of the game. It grants us the ability to break every bone in our body to transform into the Maru Mari, or as it eventually becomes known as, the Morph Ball. You can tell me all the science you want about this, there's no way that's comfortable. But now we can get into small gaps, including the gap at the impassable wall, meaning that we can continue to explore this dank cave. How did they know that's what I wanted to do? Is it my birthday? Anyways, we come to a section of the cave where it very obviously wants us to climb all the way to the top. I mean, look at that vertical scrolling. It's just begging me to find out what's at the top. But about halfway through, we find a fork in our road, as the game presents us with a door that goes who knows where. I mean, I know I should stay on the path that I started on, but the ADHD is strong in this one. Let's go check out what's in this door. Oh boy, it's another vertical shaft. The variety in this game is top tier. Well, might as well descend into the depths here and find out what's waiting for us down below. Eventually, you'll come across another one of the many upgrades that you'll find in this game, which is a missile pack, which will unlock the ability for Samus to launch missiles. Missiles are very powerful weapons that can also open red doors if you shoot them 5 times. What American wet dream is this where you open doors with ammunition, and where do I put my order in to replace all the doors in my house with this technology? Asking for a friend. Anyways, there are a lot of these missile packs scattered throughout the game, and each time you collect one, it increases your total missile count by 5 missiles. I am not going to cover how to find all of them for the sake of both of our sanities. Let's just assume I get them all, okay? Also, enemies will now occasionally drop missile ammo when destroyed. Anyways, as we crawl back up the shaft, let's head down the hallway that was parallel to the entrance. I swear eventually we will figure out what's at the top of that first vertical area, I promise, but this is a game about exploration. It's good for the soul to go down the paths less traveled, or something like that. High school English class was like 300 years ago for me, or something along those lines. Anyways, as we make our way through this hallway, we have to deal with waivers as they keep trying to knock us into the lava. I should not have to perform this much acrobatics on an empty stomach. I really should have eaten something before I went on this dangerous revenge mission. But eventually, our curiosity pays off as we find one of the first energy tanks in the game, which gives us another 100 points to our life energy. Also, it conveniently completely heals us, so now I don't feel hungry at all. Thanks, energy tank. Is there anything you can't do? Besides, like, bring back my dead parents? Anyways, we continue down the hallway until we eventually come to the end, which leads us to another vertical shaft. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of this in this game, but I'll do my best to make hallways and corridors seem interesting. This one eventually leads us to our first missile lock door, which we can open up by blasting away. Inside of which we will find a Chozo statue, which is all that remains of the original inhabitants of this planet. A grim reminder of the atrocities committed by the space pirates. Thankfully, the Chozo have left behind technology for us so that we can complete our mission, and this statue holds the bombs, which are used in Morph Ball mode to damage enemies. It also allows us to blow up tiles in certain areas, which will open the map up for even further exploration. But for right now, I think that we should go and find out what's at the top of that original vertical area. So let's head on back, start the climb up, stopping a bit for one more detour where we find another missile door and another upgrade. This is the long beam, and it allows our shots to go further than the 2 inches that they could go before. But as we finally climb all the way to the top, we'll find another missile locked door that, as we open up, brings us to a peculiar chamber. This chamber will lead us to Mother Brain's lair, but it looks like we got some business to take care of first. We have to go and defeat the 2 space pirate leaders before we can take on Mother Brain, and they're both represented by these 2 statues. And these leaders are Kraid, whom we haven't met yet, and the other leader, who is somebody that we're all too familiar with, Ridley, the space dragon that killed our parents. This mission just got a lot more personal. We now have our goals clearly shown in front of us. Let's go and wipe these guys out.